exactly 1 year ago. And my heroic effort is over. D-Mills, my older brother in the yellow top, scurries away and has defeated me at the end of the 8th kilometre in this 10k race. This brutally warm 10k race. 24 degrees it was at the moment. Not a cloud in the sky. But 1 year on, 1 more year of training. Let's hope for a better day. Let's get to the start line in 2025. Oh, fuck off. It's exactly the same conditions. It's slightly cooler, starting at 18 degrees rather than started at 22 last year, but it will be 20 degrees by the end of this race. This is on board with myself, J Mills. Back to D Mills now, and that is me just ahead of him in the yellow top and the orange Vaporfly Originals on their first little outing. And what will this beautiful day of running have in store for us? Last year, I was an absolute fool. Went out at 3:43 per kilometre, trying to do a 37:30 to get the overall Mills PB. And as you saw, completely capitulated. Didn't even break 40. This year, I'm much fitter, but I'm going out slower. My aim, 350 per kilometre in the first 5k with the wind. It's a nice easterly wind, and then it will be a headwind all the way back and just cling on for dear life. See if I can hold 350, and that would be around a 38:20 to 38:30, which would be about a minute off my PB, but my PB was done when it was about 5 degrees and with very little wind. Today it's 15-20 miles an hour, pushing us along at the moment, but that's going to be in our face on the way back. Also, shout out to Fabian on the left there in the blue vest. He's shooting for around a mid-39, so definitely in blow-up territory for J Mills if things go as south as they did last year. Hopefully, my more sensible pacing can stop that happening this year as I start to just gain those seconds on D Mills, and it should be around 5 seconds if we are both pacing each other as we're aiming for, and it looks like we are at the moment. Back to me, 400 metres in, just trying to keep it as steady as I possibly can, just behind Allison. But as things open up, I make a little bit of a move, head into the gap. 350 per kilometre at the moment, you can see at the top left. Perfect stuff. Feeling all right currently. D Mills 355 per kilometre. Would you look at us? Now, in the red and yellow vest just ahead of me, I believe this is Philip. Apologies if that is wrong, but I had a lovely chat with him just after a K, which I missed recording. But we got talking and he was like, I'm going a bit quick here. I think he was aiming for a 40, 41, and obviously we're going at 350 per kilometre at the moment. And then when I saw him at the end, he was like, yeah, I went a little bit hot and faded to, I think he did a 43 in the end. Basically did what I did last year and fell apart. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us today. But he was a very nice chap. We go again, my friend. How is D Mills doing? He's a little bit cheeky 350 per kilometre there. He hasn't really been getting any further away from me in the last 300 or 400 metres. Moving on up close to Allison now. And I believe it's now time for those first kilometre official splits. I say official, it's Strava 1k splits. Very unofficial. But there they are. A 349 for me, a 355 for D Mills. Everything so far going according to plan. And if we have a little glance down the bottom left, you can see I'm 6 seconds ahead, and we will keep updating that through the race. Coming off the seafront now.
Thank you.
Always got to thank our marshals. And I've made my way up behind the leading female, and the pack of 10 or so runners had broken up significantly ahead of me. I remember looking at it around a K thinking, okay, if I pace this correctly, I should be able to hopefully overtake a lot of people by the end of it. You can see they've splintered now. These three here are coming towards me and the leading female. I'm feeling relatively okay at the moment, just trying to keep it within me, not go above 170 heart rate too much, and near my threshold heart rate. Let's have a look at that second kilometre split and see what dastardly D Mills is up to. A 351 from me, and excuse me, D Mills, a 352. You're not meant to be going that quick, so he's only lost a second, and he's now 7 seconds behind me. Very, very interesting. At 2.2k, I decided that the pace was dropping a little bit, 355 per kilometre there for a second, so I decided to move on through, try and see if I could ease up behind these 3 guys ahead. But I'll be perfectly honest, and it was around here where I started to realise I really was not feeling great. I was starting to get warm, having to take my camera off frequently between shooting this lovely footage for you guys, the things I do for you. But I was starting to really wonder if I could hold 350 pace for another 7.5 kilometers. I will do my very best, but knowing that currently I've got that tailwind, I've got to keep this pace with the headwind on the turnaround. Oh, we could be in trouble. 3k, I hadn't managed to make it up right behind that lot. The guy in the black top had broke away. Let's have a look at the splits. A second drop to a 352 for me, but thankfully Damo had dropped to a 357, so I had gained 5 seconds. I was now 12 seconds ahead, but it was already starting to become a grind out there. We are now just approaching the marshal that told us our positions. I didn't record it, but he said I was in 18th position. But I couldn't care if I finished 1,000th position as long as I beat D-Mills. 3.7k, and I still hadn't managed to make it up behind these 2. I could not afford to use any excess energy, so I was just trying to hold that 350 per kilometer as best I could. I am at the moment in the top left, and hopefully everyone ahead of me starts fading even more than I might. But I was really starting to feel baked in this sunshine. We're at 4k though. What are the splits? And we had both managed to pick it up, actually. 351 for me, a 353 for Damo. So I've still gained 2 seconds, 14 seconds ahead now. I was starting to look around a lot at the moment, though, and I know that's the worst thing to do. D-Mills, the Raptor, loved seeing that. Definitely rallied him to pick that pace up again. There's one of those looks round. I could see that yellow top that he was wearing, and it was a very similar distance behind me to exactly a year before, and I felt similarly pretty minging, but I don't want to lose this year. I don't want to have to reflect over this moment for 365 days. Can I just hold on? And when I turn and hit the headwind, will things get even worse? As Ant flies past on the other side of the road. Let's see if we can see how buggered we are by our heart rate. I'm at 173. So close to my threshold heart rate, 174, pretty much there. Back to Damo, who's just thinking about going past the leading lady. Yeah, he makes his move now. 187 heart rate. Okay, his is usually around 10 ahead of me, so maybe I'm in a better position. But I'm not sure, as last year his was 195 when he overtook me at 7.5k-ish. Mine was 180, so he has even more when he is fueled by hate to beat me. Perhaps he can use 15 BPM more than me. And you can see visually, I'm really not that far ahead as we approach the turnaround. Oh, why do I look so concerned? Other than the fact that D-Mills might catch me. But no, it was actually because I was worried I was going to miss the water, but I managed to pick one up there. That would have been disaster. I would have had to have gone back and lost a few seconds to Damo. There's not a chance I could have got to the end here without this water. A lovely little drink, a lovely crotch shot with some water for good measure. We have turned around now, heading into the headwind. It's not a brutal headwind by any means until the seafront, when it's maybe not brutal, but it's deeply unpleasant. Can we keep going? We have at least managed to finally get right behind this pack. But there was only a second between our last kilometre splits for halfway. 353, 354, and I've got 15 seconds to play with. Will that be enough if D-Mills turns on party passion mode? But I at least start to pick off the first of these runners ahead of me. And I'm now sitting behind Hastings runner and Peacehaven runner. Managed to actually dispatch them fairly quickly. But who's this to our right? It's W-Mills out for a light tempo. A week after his triumphant Worthing half marathon that you can watch on the top right of the screen now. And maybe drop a little like and subscribe too. Just a thought. Back to today's race, though, against D-Mills. We are 5.4 kilometres in. We are actually feeling better than I was at 3k. Probably not physically, but mentally, it wasn't burning as much as I thought it would do initially when I turned around into that headwind. Last year at this point, I knew I was a well-toasted English muffin, but I had just about enough in the tank, at least for now, to start at least having dreams. As I still look behind to see where D-Mills is. Couldn't see him at this point. There was a bit of a corner there. But I still had dreams of trying to catch these people ahead at the moment. Just past 6k now. What are the splits? Oh, that makes me a very, very happy young boy. 3:51 for me. D-Mills 3:57. 6 seconds, the most I've gained since the opening kilometre. Could I now start turning my attention forward rather than back? Not just yet. I was still hot, but the heart rate wasn't horrific. It was starting to creep towards that 180. Oh, God, I have got a kilometre left before I die mode. But back to 176, 177 now. As long as I took my hat off regularly, there was a nice wind. Obviously, that headwind was cooling me down. So, to be honest, I reckon I prefer to run with a decent headwind than with absolutely no wind when it's this temperature, around 20 degrees, because I just cook. Perhaps D-Mills is struggling a bit more than me in the headwind, though, as at Eastbourne Half Marathon, when I thought I was in big trouble with a few K to go, the headwind saved me from him, I think. That day was a lot stronger than this as I make my move on this guy in the blue top. But I think D-Mills just really struggles into a headwind compared to me, at least. And yes, get in the bin, you streak of piss, D-Mills. 3:53 for me. Dropped a little bit, but D-Mills dropping even more. 3:59. Another 6 seconds gained. Let's just hope I haven't used up my energy too early, as I might not be enjoying the headwind as much when it's even stronger on the seafront, and I've never actually managed to do this race without walking once I get to the seafront, so that's a little bit in my mind, and the 30-second lead, 27-second lead I have for Damo could be evaporated if I do have to do a little walkie poo, as I hit 181 heart rate, as we do just skip around the corner now to 7.3 kilometers, just 2.7k to go. It looks like myself, the guy in the black top, the guy in the red top are slowly catching those two Eastbourne Rovers just ahead of us. This could be a big showdown on the seafront. Yes, we are both definitely catching them. Well, they've basically caught them, and I'm a little way behind. Now just 2.4 kilometers to go. And as we emerge onto the seafront, I initially get some flashbacks from the years before, especially as that wind was pretty nasty, I'm not gonna lie, as you can hear, but I managed to... Oh, cheeky D-Mills check, and you can just about make him out in the distance, but it felt like he was actually a long way away. And as long as I just kept moving in a forward direction for the next 2k, I should be okay. And look at the 8th kilometre split. 3:56 for me, but a 4:06 for D-Mills. Oh, beautiful headwind. Do whatever you want to me. I am yours. I now have a 37-second lead with 2 kilometers to go. I'm up right behind Serpentine Runner and the guy in the black vest. The Rover's just ahead, and I knew I could keep going to the end. I wouldn't have to walk. It was gonna be hard as I moved past Serpentine Runner. How many more positions can I get before the end, and what sort of time might we be on for? I decide there is no time to wait behind black vest. Straight on through. Can I get behind the Rovers as quick as possible? As it would help greatly if they broke that wind for me. And yes, a few hundred meters later, I am right there. About 1 mile to go. We're managing to go along at 350 per kilometre despite an absolute hoolie blowing against us, and I did not last long behind them. In my mind, I waited there for a K or so, and with like 500 metres to go, then I pushed on. But no, I decided I'm not going to leave anything out there today. One last check for D-Mills. We're okay. I could see one of the Rovers right behind me trying to come along. Come on, lad. Let's grab every second out of our bodies today, as I'm managing to creep into the 340s for the first time in the whole race. But it is tough work out there. But that is a bloody marvellous 9th kilometre from me. A 3:52. Damo really struggling now. 4:05. 13 seconds gained. I'm now 50 seconds ahead into this final kilometre. And back to D-Mills for the first time in a while to see what he's up to. And he is struggling along at 193 heart rate, but he does have some potential weak and vulnerable runners ahead of him. And I just know the Raptor will do his best to see if he can overtake all 3 of them. I've just heard a light fucking hell under his breath. Not long to go, brother. Back to me with 800 meters to go, getting busy along the seafront on this gorgeous day, having to do a little bit of dodge, dive, dip, duck, and dodge. But little did I know what was coming right before the finish, as Damo makes a move on Brighton and Hove vest there, while I'm still overheating into this headwind. Can D-Mills claw himself up to these two and then go on past? I'm working my absolute socks off here to get every second out of me today. It's not for a PB. It's always ever so slightly harder to push through that red zone when you're not on for a PB, but I'm doing my absolute best today. 400 meters till the end, managing to pick it up to 340 per kilometer. And D-Mills is right with them now. Go on the passion preach, see them off. You are still the big dog around these parts. I think it's time as he hits 195 heart rate and he picks that speed up to 345. He bursts on through. Do not look back. Do not pass go. What does that even mean? I don't know. Drive for the line, D-Mills. Here I am coming round the Martello Tower before the final sprint for home. Marshall blowing the whistle to let them know I'm coming, but it's busy out there. 200 meters to go. But what is this? Oh my God, no, he's not going to see through that. Oh God! Oh dear God, I've almost murdered someone. Do not look back. Get in the twos, run away. That's the best course of action. Dear Lord, that was sketchy. But I think we've got away without murdering anyone. Can I now kick for home? 320 per kilometer. You bet I can. 310. Come on, we're going to get in the twos. 305 per kilometre. 3 flat per kilometre. Give me some twos, J-Mills. 355 per kilometre. The finish line is there. We come home and we actually managed to dip to 350 at the end. And here is D-Mills at the end. Hopefully less drama than I had. He's lost the first battle today, but can he win the second one with his sprint finish and get below 250 per kilometre? And look, everyone's disappeared for D-Mills. The path has opened and he can send it big time. What have you got in store for us? 345 per kilometre. I can see the speed beginning to ramp up, even on the camera. 335. 320 per kilometre, 315 per kilometre. The finish is super close. He's going to have to properly kick at the end. 305 per kilometre, grunting over the finish line. 3 flat. He can't quite get in the twos. A double dub for J-Mills. And 199 heart rate for D-Mills. What were our official finishing times and finishing positions? I had scraped myself into the top 10 with a 38.22, overtaking 8 runners in that second half. My sensible first half, even though it didn't feel very sensible at the time, had worked wonders. D-Mills in 15th position with a 39.11. 2 minutes quicker for me than last year, around 20 seconds quicker for D-Mills, but not enough to defeat me on this day in history. I am very happy being within 50 seconds of my PB in those conditions, and I'm ready to attack as many 5 and 10Ks over the summer months, even if it's hot. If I can break my 10K PB in the summer when it's hot, I'm going to destroy it once we get to autumn. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. We will be back at the weekend when D-Mills is doing another 10K, and I'm trying to get W-Mills to go to parkrun, but that boy don't listen to no one. Thanks again. I will see you soon.